So today's animation then showing Chamonix-Pujola, starting off looking at them, heading very east, forced east by the high pressure system to their west, and riding the low pressure, so making good progress. But Neutrogena and Gaius, they're visibly going either side of the Falklands. Gaius lining up to go east and Neutrogena went west. Approaching Cape Horn then, there you see We Are Water and One Planet One Ocean in good northwesterly breezes. Bruno Captur a little bit slowed by that rudder problem, but still making good progress, and coming out from Bluff and making good speeds now, the best speeds they've had in the south over the last 24 hours for Spirit of Hungary, Nandor Fa and Conrad Goldman. So today's ranking, Monday the 2nd of March, 61st day of racing. Chamonix-Pujola extending ahead of Neutrogena again. Chamonix-Pujola now making about 12 or 13 knots, but have been faster. They're more downwind now. Neutrogena in second, have extended out to 200 miles ahead of Gaius Centros Auditivos. Gaius making just 7.3 knots on the morning speed gun. We Are Water, the fastest boat on the water over the last 24 hours, making 408 nautical miles, just pipping Spirit of Hungary, who made 404 nautical miles. One Planet One Ocean going okay. Renault Captur in 6th. Well, they've done a 350 mile 24 hour day and 14 knot averages over the 30 minutes up until 9 o'clock this morning. So things perhaps going okay, if not brilliant, on Renault Captur.
Ouais, maintenant on est à 1700 milles de Hornos, mais on a des systèmes dépressionnaires. En fait, on vient de passer un fond et on ne sait pas beaucoup qu'est-ce qu'on va avoir comme menu jusqu'à Hornos, mais je pense qu'on va avoir du vent assez mouvementé, on va dire. Doncs mira, hem passat fa unes horetes hem passat un front que ha estat bastant benèvol perquè no ha pujat més de 40 nusos i ara ja hem passat el front i ara comença a rolar cap a oest-sud-oest i tenim 25 nusos de vent. Sí, mira, és curiós perquè per exemple vam tenir allà al sud d'Austràlia i al sud de Nova Zelanda vam tenir moltes maniobres i se'ns va fer molt dur. I en canvi ara te n'adones que quan estàs en un ritme del sud-sud no hi ha tantes maniobres, vull dir que en realitat pots descansar més. Hi ha més estrès perquè el barco es belluga molt i salta molt i fa molts cops, però en realitat de maniobres poques, i que cansament físic no tant.
So situation for Chamonix-Pujola in southerly breezes now. They've left the low pressure train behind in the roaring 40s. They're out of that now, up to 39 degrees. So they're not being pushed by the low pressures quite as much now. They're in transition, and the high pressure now, they're on the east side of the dominant South Atlantic high. So the rotation is giving them southerly, then southeasterly breezes. 10 to 15 knots. High pressure is moving south, so it will go more southeast. They're about 8 days to the equator now. They should cross into the northern hemisphere on the 10th of March. Neutrogena, meantime, we're in 20 to 25 knots of northwesterly breeze this morning. They were reaching in a northeasterly direction. About 18 to 19 knots of boat speed, so going well in general, but they have slackened off and they're getting into lighter breezes. In particular, tomorrow night, that's Tuesday night, will be very slow with light winds for them. Gaius passing south of the Falklands and leaving the Falklands to the east. They're in light 10 to 15 knots breezes. That's why they're a little bit slower this morning. One Planet, One Ocean and We Are Water are in between two systems. We Are Water have had wind from the northwest, and the low pressure system is really catching up with them. And then tonight, both of these boats will be in the same low pressure system. We spoke with Bruno this morning. He said they're on We Are Water. He said that they're at about 115 to 113 degrees of longitude, so 1,600 miles from Cape Horn. It's going to be quite complicated for them as they go. They don't really know what's going to be the situation in the coming days, but they'll cross a little bit from the north as they approach Cape Horn, a fairly standard practice. Situation is looking quite difficult and quite tactical, but certainly he does think they'll have enough wind.
Nice to be back at sea and especially going this fast. So it's nice to start off the new league with a bang. Thankfully, we've had an ideal start to the race because we were absolutely exhausted. You know, that to go from skipper to shore crew and back again is pretty tough. We didn't get very much sleep. We were there for 2.5 days and only got one shower. So that gives you an idea of the fact that we were focusing on the boat and not on creature comfort. So then we had one night that was quite light at the start, and then after the reaching conditions have been building. Well, at the moment we've got 32 knots from northwest, and so we're reaching doing a reach-forward reach, and we're as I'm sure you've seen, we just averaged 18.5 knots all night long for the last 10 hours. So I think that's our fastest run to date, actually. So we're feeling good. I think we both lost some weight during our trip, and so we needed to augment our supplies a little bit. So we've got 6 kilos of peanuts that should keep us going for a long time. And so it's not so much fresh food, but just an opportunity to change up our diet a little bit. Yeah, easily 10 times during the race. Obviously, we need to remain vigilant, but I believe that we've solved most of the problems that we have. Unfortunately, our mainsail has proved to be quite delicate in the sense that it's, I think when it left aloft, it didn't have a lot of the patches that it needed to. And so I've been patching the mainsail and checking the rig and the rigging and the cars and so on. But I think that we've got a pretty reliable system as of now. Well, I mean, it's quite difficult because when I did the medical training with you at Texon, the conditions were very, very simple. We were in a nice room. We had just had coffee. We were stitching on a piece of polystyrene and tissue. And so it was a good place to start practicing. But in reality, doing stitching in real skin on a boat that is bouncing proved to be a real challenge for me. And I think for most people in the same situation as well. But nonetheless, I'm very pleased with the result.
So situation is pretty good all in all for Spirit of Hungary. They obviously since the restart they started fairly slowly, but Conrad Coleman, who we spoke with this morning, just really emphasising how tired they were when they got back on the boat. They obviously with no real shore team to speak of. We had Conrad's uncle there, of course, but there was no shore team. So as soon as they hit the dock, hit the land, then they were really working flat out for the 2.5 days they'd stopped. And Conrad emphasising once again today that was really tough on them. They got all the jobs that they wanted to. They got them all completed. And so the boat is at 100%. The downside was they were not at 100% physically themselves once they restarted. But the breeze was quite light to start with. Then they got down into the low pressure train, and since then they've been absolutely flying. And Conrad was in very, very good form this morning. He said it's nice to be back at sea and going this fast. I think they were doing an average of 18.5 knots overnight. And he said really they could take up or pass a quarter of the Pacific pretty much over one long weekend. So I presume he means between Saturday and Monday night perhaps. He talked a little bit about taking on some fresh food. Really what they did was they took more food rather than particularly emphasising fresh food. He said that they had lost just a little bit of weight each, and they really needed to eat a bit more on this passage across the Pacific and into the South Atlantic. Conrad being a big lover of peanuts, he's taken on 6 kilos of peanuts and some red cabbage. So slightly esoteric diet, of course, for Conrad, but they also had some apples and oranges, and everything going very well then for Spirit of Hungary.
At the beginning, a few medical calls, now a few mails, and there have been only very light disease and very light issues, like dermatitis and tendinitis, headache, a flu that's common in the south, in the Pacific, but all of them are resolved and all of them are very well just right now. So it's a medical kit very easy to manage. So the skipper that has used it, like Conrad we have seen, or Bruno, They have not any problem, and they can use it without any incident. So very well. I'm happy, and they are very happy to have it. At the hospital Kirantenon, we have a team of 6 doctors that are on call. So we have an assistant of 24 hours, 7 days. And we have developed big technology like video conference, an email, and telephone by satellite. And so that there is a team that is very prepared to attend a critical situation. There are intensivists, so it's specialized in grave and severe disease. And first of all, we make a course, a medical course, at the beginning and before the race start, just to prepare the sailors to manage with common situation aboard, like if they have a blow in the head, or some fracture, or some wound, just to take care or to suture. Well, they are extreme athletes, so they have a very, very well preparation about psychological and physical situation.
Good morning, everybody. Today we are the 2nd of March, and race leader Cheminée Pujula has left the 40s. So what about the weather forecast? Cheminée Pujula is now sailing north of the 40 degrees south, so they are leaving the low pressure system from the South Ocean, and now they are dealing with the high pressure system, so they are having southwesterly winds between 10 to 15 knots for today. And as the high pressure is moving, they are also moving and heading north and having more and more southeasterly winds for the next 24 hours. Concerning gas and Neutrogena, they are not exactly in the same situation because they are just before a cold front arriving behind them. So Neutrogena is having northwesterly winds coming from a high pressure located in the north, and gas is having northwesterly breeze coming from the same high pressure, but also having westerly winds coming from behind him. So during the day, this front is going to move faster than the boat, and they're going to have the wind shift from northwest to westerlies, southwesterlies during the day. For We Are Water and One Planet, One Ocean Farmaton, they are having wind coming from the south low pressure system. So We Are Water is having northwesterly breeze between 25 to 30 knots. During One Planet, One Ocean Farmaton is having westerly winds. For Renault is just at the end of this low pressure system, so they are having westerly winds between 20 to 25 knots of wind, but during the day this high pressure is moving closer to the boat, so that means the wind is going to drop and they are going to sail in 15 knots of wind at the end of the day. Concerning Spirit of Hungary left Bluff 2 days ago now, so they are sailing in really good weather condition with 25 to 30 knots of northwesterly winds, and we can see here the center of the low pressure bringing them this strong wind. So the low pressure is moving very fast to the east, so during the days they're going to have lots of wind coming from the northwest shifting west, and for this night the wind is going to be a bit more moderate.